Once upon a time, there was a kind and simple old woman who lived in a country. She had 2 sons. The elder son's name was Badlu, who had gone abroad for work. The younger son's name was Fazal, and he lived with his mother, taking care of her. One day, Fazal became very ill. Despite many efforts to treat him, he passed away, and the old woman was left heartbroken and alone. She wrote a letter to her son Badlu, telling him about Fazal's death and her condition. Before she received any response from Badlu, one day a traveler arrived at her house. The traveler said, "Grandmother, I have come from far away, and I am very tired. It's getting dark, and if you allow me, I would like to stay here for the night." The old woman welcomed him and said, "Come in, my child. What harm would it do? It's just for the night." The traveler replied, "I come from another world, grandmother." The old woman, still grieving her son, misunderstood, and thought he meant he was from the afterlife. She asked him, "Did you know my son Fazal? He also went to the other world last month. Did you meet him?" The traveler, sensing her simple nature, cleverly responded, "Yes, I knew Fazal. He was a good boy. We lived together." The old woman, feeling comforted, asked, "How is my Fazal now?" The traveler, continuing his story, said, "Fazal is doing fine, but he is working as a shepherd. He doesn't have proper clothes and is struggling." The old woman was heartbroken, and with great sadness, she said, "Oh, my poor son, wandering as a shepherd with torn clothes." To make her feel worse, the traveler added, "Yes, he is very poor and his clothes are all torn." The old woman, in her grief, said, "Please, my child, when you leave, give him some clothes and some money for me." The traveler agreed, spent the night at the old woman's house, and left the next morning. Some days later, Badlu returned home. He and his mother cried and embraced, mourning the loss of Fazal. The old woman told Badlu about the traveler who had come, and how he had said he knew Fazal in the afterlife. "I sent some clothes and money with him for Fazal," she said. Badlu was surprised and said, "Mother, you don't understand. No one comes back from the afterlife. That man fooled you." Badlu decided to teach the man a lesson. He left home, thinking, "I will find someone even simpler than my mother to fool." After some time, he came across a village with a wealthy landlord. Near the landlord's house, he saw a large, healthy goat tied up, along with 3 lambs. Badlu knelt before the goat and saluted it repeatedly, claiming it was his wife's relative, and that he had come to invite it to his son's wedding. The landlord's wife, watching from the window, sent a servant to ask him why he was saluting the goat. Badlu replied, "This goat is my wife's relative, and I have come to invite it to my son's wedding." The landlord and his wife found this hilarious, and decided to play along. They sent Badlu off with the goat and lambs, treating him like he was carrying a royal guest. Badlu, enjoying the attention, proudly drove the goat and lambs away, imagining he was taking a bride to the wedding. The landlord and his wife laughed until they couldn't stop. After some time, the landlord realized that Badlu was gone for too long. He sent a servant to check on him. Badlu, aware that he was being followed, tricked the landlord by hiding the goat and saying it had gone in another direction. The landlord, realizing he had been fooled, became angry and returned home. Meanwhile, Badlu returned to his mother, bringing the goat and lambs with him, and said, "Mother, I will always stay with you now. I thought you were the simplest person, but I've found that there are even simpler people in the world." This story shows that sometimes, the simplest people can be the wisest, and we should not underestimate others based on their simplicity.